Hey guys, welcome back to Eight at the Table. It's your girl Nikki Diamante, and I'm doing a one-on-one with Mr. Jamar. Now, a lot of guys be letting women pressure them into marriage. Oh, you gonna know if you won't marry me after 6 months and blah, blah, blah. Let me ask you a question because
Absolutely.
you was married.
Yes, I was. For 10 years.
Did you feel like you married the wrong woman the first time around?
That's a catch-22 question, and I'm going to tell you why. Because yes and no. No, because I have a wonderful son with her. And yes, because she was the wrong wife. So.
You could have had a baby. You could have baby mama her. Could have baby mama her. You chose to marry her.
Yeah.
So why was she the wrong pick the first time?
She was the wrong pick because she wasn't a team player.
Why you felt that way?
Because a lot of the aspirations I felt that we had prior to the marriage, not during the marriage, weren't being met when we got into it. And that's big because when you're going to marry someone, you want to be in line with their thoughts, their wants, and their needs, right?
But we're individuals, so what do you mean?
Yeah, but you're planning for a future together. So there are things that you talk about and there are things that you plan for. And when it comes time for that, you both have to put out, right? Equally. And not in a selfish way. Sometimes I feel that, we can push a little bit more individually. And I was willing to do that. I'm very how should I say this? I'm very dialed in when it comes to relationship.
Do you
I'm a
feel like
one-woman
she was
man.
complacent though?
No, I don't feel like she was complacent. I would say that I was complacent before she was actually.
But all right, so I'm gonna explain like a woman being complacent, right?
Yeah, let me.
So all this hustle, all this drive that we have before we get married, like let me show this man I'm a hard worker. Let me show him I'm a good cook. Let me show him I'm a good cleaner, and I'll be good to raise his kids. Once I'm not gonna cap. Once a lot of women get that ring, they don't feel like they have to fulfill or do what they used to do anymore because they got it. They got the goal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Do you feel like that was the case when it came to her? Like once she was married, she was just like that drive was
because
gone.
she was a very ambitious person. But her ambition didn't involve us. It just involved her while she was in a marriage, and that's a problem, right? Because prior to the marriage, it was our ambitions. And so once you get married now, it's like, hey, this is all about what I want. And so that's the problem. I think that, a lot of men and women, because I don't want to put this in a box as that this is a women problem or a man's problem. But I think that a lot of women and men face this in their marriage, whereas prior it was about what are we all going to accomplish together? Well, obviously, I always wanted children. She always wanted children. So after that accomplishment happened, that was it.
So, it's very important for us to realize how a person was raised before we sit there and get into a relationship with them. How was your ex-wife raised? Was she raised based on love or survival? Because what you're telling me now...
She was raised on love.
Right.
She was raised on love in the sense that although she did have a sister, she was the only child, right? So much so that I even saw the conflict between the two of them. And I used to have to mediate that all the time. And I never liked it. It always felt uncomfortable because I loved her sister. Her sister was a wonderful person. Now they're great together, which is awesome. And I'm happy for them, but during that period, I'm talking about some 20 years ago, it was rough, You know
what's interesting to me?
What's that?
Is that I asked you if she was based off love or survival, and you was like she was raised almost kind of like an only child. And then why would it surprise you that she's selfish and was only thinking about her needs at the time?
Because I fell for what she was telling me at the time when we met.
Swindled you.
Well, I would believe so. And at the time when we met, I felt that it was about us as a unit, right? And you have to understand that my background, right, plays a part in this also, because I don't want to. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to get into that right now. Oh, love for sure. And I don't think that survival lacks love. Let me be clear on that, because there are a lot of people who lack many things in life but still have an abundance of love.
Right.
So we don't want to put ourselves in a position of thinking that just because we're surviving means that we're lacking in love. I don't think that that is a reality, because I had a lot of things that I lacked. My father was never here for me personally. I didn't feel that I lacked something because of that, because I always got up and got what I needed. But I had a loving mother who alleviated all of that. So for me, I didn't feel like love was something that I lacked in my upbringing.
All right, so let me break it down, right?
Yeah.
So when we ask, was someone raised based off love and survival, when a person is raised based off survival, it could go either way.
Yeah.
For example, me and my sister was raised in the same household. I'm more of a lover. She's more of a survivor. So she'll do kind of like the shady things that you described your ex-wife would do, when I'm like the exact opposite. Even though we grew up in the same household.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, all because somebody was raised based off survival doesn't mean like, oh, they're not going to treat you good. They're always going to think about themselves or whatever or whatnot. You could get somebody that's a lover. So it's like with you, even though you was raised where you felt like it was a lack of love somewhere, you still have abundance of love, period, overall. So let me ask you, would you get married again?
I would absolutely do. I don't think that the institution of marriage is dead just because your past was bad, right? And I always liken it to driving on the road. You don't lose your driving privileges just because people are having accidents on the road. And I think just because we look at the divorce rate doesn't mean that that's going to be
a lot of people look at that.
Yeah, and a lot of people look at that and they're like, oh my God, why should I? Statistics sometimes can point us in the wrong direction.
It's just me and you.
I know. I'm speaking.
Like it's the camera there.
No. I'm speaking.
Sit back a little bit.
I'm speaking honestly to you.
Bring me back to the divorce, though. Let's get to the meat of it.
What do you want to know?
The divorce when you realize, like, this is the end.
After I waited for 6 years. Because what ended up happening is my father, and again, I just mentioned that before, he was never around. Right. So eventually I decided I'm going to have a relationship with my father. I got older and I realized that relationships are not built just on two people. Because my mother did such a great job, I refused to blame her for anything. So therefore, I got up one day and I said, I'm going to meet my father. So we built a relationship. While I'm building a relationship with him, someone he cared about passed away. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give him the support because this is what I set my course to do. To be there for my dad no matter what. I didn't need him as a father at that point. And I just wanted to just have a relationship with this man that I didn't understand. So when I got down there, I went to the funeral, I came back, my house was empty.
How did you feel?
You feel numb.
And Don't tell me how I'm going to feel.
No.
How did you feel?
I felt numb. I felt numb in the sense that you don't know what you're going to be like when a situation comes towards you. You could tell yourself 1,000 times, hey, I know what this is going to feel like. But everything that I've worked for were 2 garbage bags sitting to the left, as Beyonce said. And that's what it was. And I was reduced to that point. And at that point, it was just like a numb feeling. You didn't know what it was, and it broke me for 9 years. I told myself I could handle this. But I carried it for 9 years. And I'll explain to you what that meant. Is that we were married for 5, separated for 6. Right? And I waited 6 years for this woman to turn around. But that was not going to happen. And the reason that wasn't going to happen is because I failed to read the handwriting on the wall. I failed to see what she was saying to me.
Do you feel like a failure because...
No, absolutely not.
You was divorced?
Nah, absolutely not. Definitely not.
If there's anything you could have done differently, what would you have done?
Seen the red flags earlier. I wish I could have spotted them earlier, then I could have taken control. Because the thing is, when we see a situation that we're not used to, right? Again, we could tell ourselves, oh, I would do this and I would do that. Yeah. But that's not the case, right? Reality always plays out differently.
What advice would you give,
to a younger person older? That's going to get married?
Yeah.
I would tell them date around extensively before they do it. And I don't mean just date, like have serious relationships before you make that step. And I liken
That's
it.
draining, though.
No, it's not draining. I believe now, if I'm not building something with a woman, she's not worth it in my life.
I feel like
She's just a good fuck and keep it moving.
I feel like dating and being in relationships after relationships, it kind of desensitizes you. Like, I feel like at this point, it's just like,
why is that?
Because you just go through so many emotions over and over again. It's just like, oh, I felt this before. It's not new anymore. It's not the new car smell or whatever or whatnot. It's just like, it desensitizes you to the point where it's just like, it gets tiring opening, yourself to different people. Whether you was with someone for 4 years, then you're with somebody for 3 years, then you're with somebody for 2 years. It's just like that could be really exhausting. That's why I feel like it's very important to vet vigorously during your dating process, because that could, imagine, a single mom of 2 kids or 3, and she's with one guy for 2 years. The guy is not in the kid's life or her life anymore. Then she meets another guy, and he's there for 3 years, and then he probably dropped off another baby. Now she got 4 kids. It's just like, how can that affect somebody's mental, just dating and getting in so many relationships and they amount to nothing?
I understand that from a woman's perspective that is a single mother, because I was raised by a single mother, right? And I would not want to have to see that for my mother. From a male's perspective, it's a lot easier to actually get done. And the question was, what advice would I give a younger man coming up about marriage? And so from a mother's perspective, and shout out to all the single moms out there, we support you. We are 100% behind you. I understand your pain. I was raised by a single woman. I understand what it's like. So I'm not just speaking from the background. I have a clear understanding of these things, right? And I think for a younger man, it's a lot different, right?
Right, of course.
And you talked about emotions. My thing is, when you get to my level, emotions are something you learn to control. And we have these conversations a lot, my closest friends and I, about falling in love or just loving someone.
What's the difference?
Well, I could never fall in love with a woman right now.
He ain't never met a chick like me, y'all. Never met a chick like me, y'all.
I can't fall in love with you.
I make them all fall in love.
No, but I can love you, and there's a huge difference between the two. I can't bring my emotions so deeply that I'm like, I'm in love with this woman.
You really feel like you got your emotions in control like that?
No, I don't feel like it. I know I have them like that. Absolutely.
Do you feel like you're kind of like shortening yourself?
No, I'm not, because it's easier. I can love multiple women at the same time. So I'm not shortening myself.
I feel like if you
you're in love with someone, you're in love with one person.
Right.
But me, I can love multiple women at the same time.
So
equally.
You can control whether you fall in love or not.
Absolutely.
You feel like people can control that?
No, I think that, can a woman come in right now and surprise me to the point where I'm like, hey, I'm going to forget about these other women? Absolutely, it can happen. I'm not naive about it. But as long as I can take control over the situation, based on my past experience, I'm going to continue to control it.
What is your thing with controlling?
What do you mean?
Like,
I don't have a control issues.
Emotions, I got to control. What is that?
You have to control your emotions. The same way you have to control everything else in your life.
Yeah, but if you're controlling, like, oh, I'm going to fall in love with this person.
Let's be clear. I just said that there can be that woman that can come in and disrupt all of that belief that I have. But until she shows up, I'm going to continue to control what I need to control for myself. Because my past experience have taught me that, men or women can tell you a lot. But what they bring to the table, this is 8 at the table after all. What they bring to the table is more important than what they tell you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very much more important.
Are you single now?
Yes, I am.
Why are you single? Because you seem like a nice guy.
I've been single for about a year and a half now. I haven't found anyone that I can say that, hey, you know what, I am steady with this person.
But you're fucking.
I mean, I have needs, right? I've given you an extensive thesis on my background. So, what about you? Why are you single?
Who said
Or, well, are you
who said I
single?
was single?
You're not single.
I might be.
You might be.
I really believe in like if a guy don't ask me to be his girlfriend, I'm single. Like I don't care how good our relationship is. We could have went on vacations. I could have met your mom. You could have met my mom.
Okay.
Which is highly unlikely that you will meet my mom unless you're my boyfriend. But if a guy doesn't formally ask me like, would you be my girlfriend? We're not we're not exclusive.
We're not exclusive. Okay, so
Yeah.
but are you seeing someone now?
Yeah.
Okay, how's that going?
It's cool.
Cool? Not great?
No, it's cool because like you said, like I'm just controlling my emotions, taking things slow. Like, I'm getting older, so I don't believe in falling head over heels anyone. It has to be some logical points in life. You have to look at somebody's job, where they live, what they drive, their goals, their ambitions, do they have kids, what their relationship with their family, friends, and everything else is like. It's not simple anymore as, oh, you look good, the sex is great.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. So also with me just it's crazy, right? Because I was talking to my best friend and she was like, maybe you just need to be by yourself, girl. Maybe you just need to be by yourself, because I'm like so picky. But I feel like, okay, I was by myself for a very long time. I grew up in a household where it was just like, it was my mother and my sister, and then it was me.
Okay.
And then I moved with my grandmother, and it was everybody that in that household, and then me. And then I was in a foster care system, and it was like, it was them, and it was just me by myself. I've spent a lot of time by myself. So I know that I want a relationship, but I feel like I'm just picky on who I'm building with. And part of that is because I emulate the man that I'm with. So if I feel like you're not a good, a role model enough for me, I didn't really grow up with my father. My father died when I was really young. If you're not a good, if you're not a good role model for me as a man, I can't really fuck with you. You know what I mean? That's why I never really dated guys my age or guys that really wasn't established. Because if you don't got your shit together, it's kind of like I don't feel the security. And it's not always about financial, like, oh, he got the bag already. It's just like, if I can't learn anything from you, if you have bad habits, like if you smoke weed and certain things like that, that I might pick up along the way of being with you, I don't really want to be with guys like that.
But that's interesting that you talk about what you might. And because you talk about, so basically what you want is a man that inspires you to be the better version of yourself.
Exactly.
And you haven't found that yet. Not even in the person that you're seeing now.
It's not that everybody has their flaws, you know what I mean? But it's just like, are we on the same page of things? And I feel like, where I don't really want to, get too personal with the person I'm talking about, because it's new.
No, of course.
You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Everything is like, I don't want to cap neither. I'm not going to hold you. But it's just like, I'm just getting to know this person. It's not much I can really, really, really say.
I understand.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's just like, but I know what I want. So it's just like me just filling this person out, because if I judge you off for the first week.
Okay, so let me ask you just a little bit more about that. How long have you been dating this man?
Like a couple of months.
Oh, a couple of months. Yeah, so you still have a lot to find out about him.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's just like really taking it slow. Like I'm really big on space. You know what I mean? Like
You're big on space.
I don't need to see you for 3 days straight, 4 days straight, 5 days straight. Like just like space. Do your own personal thing. I like a man that got his own thing going on.
Gotcha.
Because I have a lot of shit going on. Because my thing is, if you don't got shit going on, you're going to be all up in my business. And
you don't want a needy man.
Right. Even though I'm a clingy bitch. I'm clingy.
There's an irony there, though.
I have relationship anxiety.
Oh, you do?
Yes. I have relationship. You don't answer your phone.
So wait. That is, but when we talked about the selfishness on you had asked me about selfishness before. So don't you think that is a bit selfish to be this way? Because if you're clingy, but yet you want space, there's an irony there, right?
Listen, it's like, I'm not crazy.
That's weird to me personally. Like, cause I'm a person, like, let's say you and I were dating, right? And I was into you and I was digging you,
right?
I would be the guy that'd be like, hey, I'll call you after the day's over and be like, hey, what's going on? Maybe you need a glass of wine. or maybe you just want that beat down tonight. But I want to know, as your man, what it is that you desire. Right. So if you're that woman that needs that space, a person like me will never be able to give you that, even though I might be the greatest guy for you. Right? And so I think that the problem that we have now is that we internalize things too much, right? We have to externalize a little bit more.
Make it more complicated than it's supposed to be.
Than it's supposed to be. My greatest advice would be to guys, if you meet a woman like Nikki, be patient.
I pray to God. You have to be patient.
Be patient, because she might be the most wonderful person you meet, but just be patient about it. You know.
It's hard to realize when you say things out loud. You realize how crazy it sounds. You know what I mean?
Now that you said it, right?
Yeah. But it's very important to be patient. I feel like with anybody, it's really important to learn somebody's background. I've been through a lot of trauma. You heard me just say, I was in foster care. You think I was in foster care because I just put myself. I just want to be in foster care today.
Since we're talking about that,
you know what I mean? I came from.
Is it okay if I ask you some more questions about certain things? So, what I would love to ask you about was, what do you feel personally, and you can. And I'll be able to answer that same question, because I would never ask anyone on this panel any question that I'm not prepared to answer myself. You on the panel for now. What do you feel that you, Nikki, is personally lacking emotionally right now? And I say emotionally because physically, obviously, we had the conversation. I'm not going to talk about the conversations we had previous to us sitting down. You already told me what that was. But emotionally, what would you tell the audience that Nikki is missing, and that you, without compromising this relationship that you have with this man right now, is lacking?
We talking about that? I thought you was about to.
I'm just talking about. Yeah, I'm digging deep. I want to know what Nikki is missing emotionally right now.
Oh, okay. So with me, emotionally, is exclusivity.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't want to hear about nobody else that you dealt with. I don't want to feel like I'm secondary to someone else or anything like that, because I lived my life. I grew up like that. You know what I mean? Like I just said, it was my mother and my sister and then me. And then when I lived in my grandmother's house, it was them and then me, and then being in foster care. So it was just it's just me as an adult. It's just that exclusivity that I want. So I feel like if I'm dealing with a man that's still hung up on his ex, still hung up on his baby mother, still hung up on whatever it is, it's just some people don't know that subconsciously affect you in a relationship you are in now. Absolutely. Even you mentioning to me, okay? Love is equal to hate. So you could be sitting there talking about, I hate this person, or talking about them in disgust, and it's just it's the same energy. So I feel like with me, it's exclusivity.
But I don't believe that.
What do you mean?
I don't believe that real love.
Yeah.
Because remember.
No. But listen to me, right?
And hate is the same. I absolutely don't believe that.
If me and you are dating and I'm talking about how much I hate my baby father.
Okay.
I might as well be talking about how much I love this man.
I understand in that concept. Yeah.
So
okay, I get it.
It's just like somebody that's just hung up on a past, or hung up on a past life, or hung up on the things they used to do. It's just no. I really expect the person I'm dealing with. Let's turn over a new leaf. I don't give a fuck about what happened over there.
I'm a strong believer in that.
I don't give a fuck. Okay?
I don't want to hear about ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends. I don't want to hear about it.
I don't want to be driving by you this is where this bitch lives. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Okay, I feel like
because this is our moment.
Yes, and you know what? I look at my daughter, and and some people may say I'm wrong for this, but I'm like, you're the only person that loves me in the world, truly loves me. And
that's interesting you mentioned her, because I think that prior to us being on the set here, that's what we were talking about. I was talking about because I've met your daughter, and I was like, wow, she's a wonderful, wonderful.
Yes, I'm
person.
So proud of my baby. They want to skip. Yeah. They want to skip her a grade.
There you go. And that's exactly the conversation we were having about your daughter. And so, I think that in the context of you being, do you consider yourself a single mom?
I do feel like I'm a single mother, because it's just the birthdays are separate, the holidays are separate. It's never a joint thing between us or whatever. And I get his side. But it's get my side too.
You asked me the question before, and so I just want to sort of bring it back to you. would you get married?
Yeah.
What is your
I'll get
viewpoint
married.
of marriage? Because we live in a society now where a lot of people date, but I
Yeah.
don't think that they make it to that. They don't take that leap anymore, right? Where it's like,
Right.
hey, you know what? This is as far as I
All
go.
right. So, I'm a woman
What is your
where
viewpoint of marriage?
it's business and it's love at the same time. It's a way to saying if something happened to me, you're good. You have rights.
Okay.
And I'm trusting you that if something happens to me, you'll make the right decision. Because if I'm in a hospital bed and then they got me on the tube or something like that, you're gonna
You
say
need that
cut
blood
it,
transfusion.
cut it, cut it. Like, you feel me? You had the choice to say what's really gonna go on in that situation. I'm trusting you. You know what I mean? Because right now, something happened to me, my mother gonna make that decision, and God knows, Jesus Christ, don't want her to make that decision. So it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like really trusting that person. Something happened, it's all up to you. You have to say so of what happens. And also, it's just like building a foundation. I do not believe in moving in with a guy before y'all engaged and married. As of this moment, if I get pregnant, shout out to all my pro-life people, but I will not be keeping a baby and I'm not married. I will not be purchasing no houses, no properties, no anything, nothing, and I'm not married.
Okay.
It is business and it is love. I will not be doing none of that. I will be doing none of the such, and I'm not married. That's that. I don't even need to explain no more because that's just period, point blank.
But way of putting it, because
Then
it
you
shows.
explain it to people though.
Oh, me?
No, I said you gotta be straightforward.
Oh yeah, me. Well, whereas like your credentials are different than mine. Like I don't require that. Like I still believe in the institution of marriage. But again, going back to our younger audience, I think that, when you're going to make a decision to be with someone, I feel that in a relationship now, and even more so nowadays, it's very important to be building smaller things together.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't care what those smaller things are. It could be planning vacations together. It could be, actually, that's a great way to start, where you start planning vacations together, or you start.
And then you break up a week before the vacation.
You may be.
What happens after that?
What do you mean?
You break up a week before the vacation.
Well, that happens. Then at least you broke up a week before the vacation. You didn't get married a week. Hopefully you don't go to vacation and get married. But the thing is, I believe that now it's more important for couples to actually build on real things. Because the problem I see...
What's real things to you, though?
Well, where I'm at now in my life, if a woman wanted a future with me, right? I have a past. Maybe she has a past, right? We would have to be... Yeah, we all have past, right? And we would have to be both in line with what we want. We have to have an understanding of what both want and work towards a common goal. So whatever that common goal is. So... At my age, what will be a common goal? Purchase a house. I don't need kids. I already have those.
Before the you're
woman
married?
Wait. Yeah, not before I'm married. Not before I'm married. She would have to understand.
The audience, sir.
She would have I'm not confusing the audience. She would have to understand that that's my goal.
Right.
And if she wants that, I'm for it.
The shorty that I'm talking to now, I bagged him, right? We went out. I was like, hey, I work at such and such.
Okay.
Came through, brought flowers to the job. I was like, yo, you want something to eat? He's like, yeah, let's go. So we go, and I'm like, so what are you looking for? I'm filling him out, find out he had a kid, whatever, whatnot. I'm like, so what are you looking for? He's like, I'm just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, I'm looking for, marriage, family, building something, blah, blah, blah. We went out again after that, and then when he called me, I stopped answering. And then, he lived around the way. So one day he bumped into me and, he pulled up. He was like, yeah, you haven't, been answering my phone calls. And
you ghosted him.
I ghosted him. Then I'm not going to hold you. Like, he had the same initial as my ex. I meant to call my ex, but I called him by mistake.
Really?
And I was ghosting
Now, hold up.
Yeah.
Is that the truth?
No, I'm dead ass serious. They both start with an L. So I was just
Somehow that always happens to women instead of me.
I was just like, oh. So I was lit. So when I FaceTimed him, his face showed up, not my ex's face, and I was like, ooh, hi, how are you? And he's like, hey. He was like, I'm surprised you called me.
Wait. Hold on. Let me. Time out.
Don't interrupt me.
You called your ex, FaceTimed him by accident.
I FaceTimed the other dude by
accident. The other dude by accident.
Yeah.
Because he had a what? Similar name to the current dude?
Yeah.
Keep going, please.
Right. So, I'm like, hey, what's up? And so he's like, yeah, what's up? I'm surprised you called me. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to hold you. Like, when I asked you what you wanted, you said you was going with the flow. You trying to move here. I'm trying to move there. I didn't see no future with it. I'm not trying to waste your time. I'm not trying to waste mine. You know what I mean? I was completely honest, and I feel like that's what people lack in. Like, so many girls just going out for the free food, and so many guys are just taking girls out to see if they could fuck or not. It desensitizes you. I'm not trying to do that anymore. Like, I'm getting older, so it's just like, oh, you want to do this, da da da. It don't align with the shit I'm not dealing with you. So then it's just like, okay, so 2 or 3 things was gonna happen. He was either gonna stop contacting me because that's not the same timing that he's on. He was gonna pretend that he was on that timing to get the pussy, or he was just gonna step up and be the man that I was saying that I want. Either way, it's a win-win-win situation because I either got rid of a bozo, or I got a dude that's gonna spend all his money and do whatever to try to get the drawers. Possibly he might not. Okay, and if I catch a little nut from it, oh, well, it's not such a bad thing. Or he's going to be the man that I want him to be. So it's just like he really like stepped up. And then it was just me saying like, okay, I'm letting you know now, I'm not having no children out of wedlock. I'm not moving in with no dude without a ring on my finger. Ain't none of that happening. Okay. Like, you have to be clear in what you want. Because if you're not clear, how you expect a man or a woman to know what you want?
Nikki, can I ask you a quick question? Because in everything that you're talking about, it's just one thing that just keeps popping up in my head. What is the age gap of the man that you're dating?
He's my age.
He's your age?
Yeah.
I think that's where the failure is.
Yeah. And the previous relationships I was in, they was all older than me, 8, 11 years.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I was gonna come back to that, is I think that you do better with older men than you do with men of your age or younger. I can see it already.
But that's where I used to have this conversation where I felt like, should women date older?
Absolutely.
Why do you think women should date older?
Because I think that women should date older men because men lags behind in maturity. We have always known that in history, right? Mm-hmm. Women tend to be more mature than men earlier. Mm-hmm. And so I think that when a woman dates an older man, she feels more secure, not because it's just a feel-good feeling, right? Mm-hmm. It's because that man is already established, right? Mm-hmm. He's already got things that he's already prepared for emotionally, financially, and physically. He knows how to satisfy his woman.
So where does that lead the women that are like divorced at like 40, 50? Where do that leave them? Are they not as valued as the women that's in their 20s, 30s that's looking to get married?
I guess that's where the government comes in.
I'm done.
I'm done.
Yeah, so definitely I think like people in general should be very, very clear on what they want. Whether you're older, you're younger, let somebody know. Because like I said, only 2 of the 3 or 1 of the 3 things going to happen. They're either going to step up, they're going to step back, or they're going to put that work in and pretend like they are. And you might catch another 2 and get a couple of bills paid, whatever. It's not a big deal.
And I agree with you on that. And I think that, in a world of social media right now, is like, if you look at the demographics on social media, it's very difficult to see what's real anymore. You have, 50-year-olds, 20-year-olds all posting the same exact posters. And I think that it's really an option of oneself to just step back and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to learn as much as I can about this person to see whether I can have a future with them or not. And so the thing I would say to younger men out there is to really, really, and women, because we don't want to single it out, right? And it's for men and women, is that you really want to take a time out and see what is it that I can build with this person. How does this person really fit into my life? And so if you're 27, 37 and you're thinking about marriage, maybe you should wait till you're 35 as a man. If you're in your 20s as a woman and you're about to be 30, maybe you should wait until you're about 30 to get married. That's what I would say. But I don't know what Nikki would say about the age group for the women. But as a man, I would say wait till you're 35 at minimum.
I would just say, know yourself, know what you want. If you don't know what you want, then, experiment, go out there. And, you'll eventually find out the hard way or the easy way. But thank you so much for joining us at the table. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you subscribe. You could Cash, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo us. All black-owned production except the white man behind the camera over there. What the fuck are you, bro? Because I don't even know.
What am I?
I know I'm black.
Since she's put it out there, I'm Creole. Okay, people? Everyone that want to know what a Creole person look like,
I'm Creole. Thank you so much. We love you guys.
She said it's not even real.
Thank you for joining us.
Take care. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.